All right, welcome back to another bucket list episode. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded a video, but I'm finally getting around trying to upload some of this Wyoming hunt. And I'm going to be the first to admit I did not do a good job of videoing anything whatsoever. So it's going to be kind of rough. Just bear with me. I'll try to explain the best I can on how things happened and how things went down. But you know, we just got out there, and when you get out there and you realize you have a week to try to get these animals, you 2 antelope and 2 mule deer is what Dad and I had tags for. You know, filming just definitely took a back seat to that. I was lucky enough to fill both of my tags. Dad filled his antelope tag, but not his mule deer tag. But all in all, we had a great hunt. We had an awesome time out there with Extreme Dream Outfitters. We've been twice. This was here was the first time I went, and I shot both of these with the bow. So they've just awesome group of people. Awesome. If y'all are looking to do a hunt out west, I would highly recommend them. But we're gonna jump right into it. I did not get my antelope on film at all, any parts of it whatsoever. I did get some of Dad's on. It's gonna be kind of choppy videos because you know, it's just pulling the camera out when we saw them and putting it back in. Dad's hunt was pretty awesome. I'd shot mine earlier that morning, and then I'll go ahead and put a picture up of mine. Nothing exciting about mine. A short stalk. Dad watched the whole thing from the truck. But on Dad's, we had, I want to say, I don't know exactly how many stalks we had put in that day. At least 2 or 3 before he got his. So I got a couple of the failed stalk videos, so I'll go ahead and put those in right now, and y'all can check those out. Like I said, they're going to be choppy videos, but I did the best I could. So go ahead and check those out. All right, so that was a couple of the failed stalks that we had earlier in the day. And now we were heading to a new section of the ranch that we hadn't been to the day before or this morning. So we were coming up a 2-track, and we round the turn, and there was a big bowl down in the valley or canyon. I'm not sure the lingo that they use out there. But there was a herd of antelope down in there. It was about 6 or 7 does and 1 buck. And we could tell the buck was a nice buck when they took off. We spooked them, obviously, in the truck when we came around the turn. And they took off running. And the guy decided that it would be a good idea to run out and see if he could see where they stopped. So I figured I'd go with him, and we, walked, I would say, roughly 150 yards away from the truck, and kind of side hill, the top of the hill, and we came around, and he was like, they're right there 300 yards away. I was like, great, I'll go get Dad. I turned around to go get Dad, and there's Dad standing behind me. No gun, no nothing. So I was like, where's the gun? He's like, it's in the truck. He's like, I thought we were just coming to look. So I told him, he said, I'll go get it. I was like, no, I'll run back and get it. That way he wouldn't be tired, because they had turned, and they were actually walking back in our direction. I am in no shape to run, especially in Wyoming. But I did. I went back to the truck, I got the gun, I grabbed the camera, and I came back. And by the time I got Dad the gun and he got down on the sticks and everything, they had closed into, I'd say, probably 70 to 80 yards. The does had caught us moving, and they were kind of locked on, but the buck hadn't paid any attention to us yet, and he was coming up on, I guess it kind of looks like a rock, and he popped up and stopped and gave Dad a good shot. I got it all on video. Like I said, my video skills are not the greatest, and I was trying not to move, so I was kind of more locked on some vegetation. The antelope is kind of blurry in the background, but you can tell in the video that as soon as Dad was squeezing the trigger, that antelope was ducking to get ready they were going to take off, and Dad clipped him a little high but dropped him in his tracks. And it was a pretty nice antelope, nice curls, had ivory tips, and he was broke off. So I'll go ahead and play those clips for you now.
Don't move too much, just take this. There they go. Don't move. Just stop. On the left. I got that shot. Nice shot.
Nailed him.
Nice
Nailed
shot. There you go. You bet, buddy. Appreciate it.
Okay, put another one in. Put another one in. His head's up. His head's up.
Yep, his head's up, but he's down. Just have it ready when we go down.
Just got him down on the ground. We had seen him up here about 500 or 600 yards, and they actually took off and they ran down this ravine. So the guide and little Mike decided to get out and walk up to this little cliff here and see which direction they were running into, if we needed to go around and try to cut them off. And when Dean and little Mike got up here, they were 300 yards away. Well, I had just walked up, and I didn't bring my gun because I thought we were just looking to see where they were going. Well, they actually stopped and kind of settled down a little bit. So little Mike took off running to the truck, grabbed the gun, ran all the way back, and by the time he got back, they were at 140, and I couldn't
that was pretty cool.
So it was it was a really good hunt. The whole day's been great because little Mike got his this morning.
We didn't get that on camera.
Yeah, unfortunately it happened kind of quick, but we had fog all morning long, and it didn't lift enough until after noon for us to go out to actually see more than 200 yards. And we weren't 20 minutes out, and we spotted his, and I mean within 30 seconds he was down on the ground, dropped like a ton of bricks, and in 10 minutes we were back at the house, hanging them up, getting ready to cut them out.
Yeah, hold that thing up. Let's check him out.
Yep. Oh, he's a good one.
Yeah, he's got real good curls.
And look, he's a fighter too. He's all chipped up and broken one of his cutters. But hey, he's a beautiful antelope.
Awesome story.
Yeah, really good. Thanks so much for inviting me and being here with me on this.
Yeah.
Making memories.
All right, well, let's get him back and get him cleaned up, and then I guess it's on the mule deer the rest of the week.
Yep.
Maybe. All right, so that was Dad's antelope hunt. So that ended us for the antelope hunting. We were both tagged out second day antelope. Well, actually, technically our first day. The guides took us out the afternoon that we got there, which wasn't technically a hunt day. So the next morning we're heading out and we're going, all our concentration is on mule deer, and it's going to be at a separate ranch. So we go out and we found some mule deer the first day. I believe it was the first day. It was the first day. I put a stalk on a nice mule deer. I'm pretty sure it's the mule deer that I ended up shooting. A nice tall, he was kind of tight, but he was real tall, good splits. And we got busted by some does in a cut that we didn't know were in there as we were coming around. So he had no clue what spooked the does out of there, but he just saw the does running, and I guess he boogied on out of there. So that ended us for day one. But the second day is when I was lucky enough to take mine. And like I said, the mule deer, I got very little bit of it all on camera. I did not get the shots on camera. Actually, I'll give y'all a little backstory. This mule deer, we knew it was a decent mule deer, but I wasn't sure on the actual size of it, but Dad said he would shoot it. So we had stalked up, and we were roughly 380 yards away. And we got Dad straight and everything on the mule deer. I still had not gotten a good look at him. I hadn't seen what he was, and he got up and he had worked his way slightly closer to 320 yards. So I adjusted the scope for Dad, and he was having trouble getting steady on him and getting him in the scope. He would lose him, he would find him, and he was just having a really tough time getting a good rock solid shot off on him. And the guide kind of leaned back and looked at me and told me that, he's a pretty nice mule deer and stuff. So Dad was questioning if there was any way we could back out and get, within 200 yards. And we were looking at the options, and we knew we had options, but we just didn't know how they were going to work out. And we had him there, broadside at 320 yards, and he had no clue we were there. So I got up on the gun. Well, I didn't get up on the gun. I did. I got up and I looked through the scope of the gun, and I got it kind of straight, and I got back out of the way. I let Dad get back on there, and I told Dad, I was like, I don't want to sway your decision at all, but I would shoot this mule deer if you don't feel comfortable taking the shot. And Dad immediately was like, nope, he's yours. And he slid out the way. And so I didn't have any of this on camera. And I shot him. He was 320 yards away. I shot him, and he reared back. I chambered another round. I shot again, and he, went down. So that was awesome. I got a bunch of after the fact footage on him. So I'll go ahead and play that now. All right. So we didn't get this one on camera, but we spotted him, and he was 460 or something, and he was in a bed up over here. And we watched him for a while. We had gotten Dad originally set up on him. and he come up and he come around, and we were up here, right there is where we were at, and we got set up on him. And Dad, he come up to about 320, and Dad was a little uncomfortable taking the shot. And when we really were sitting up there at 320 and got a good look at him, I realized this might be the one we put a stalk on yesterday. And Dad wasn't comfortable making the shot, and I told Dad, I was like, I don't want to sway your decision, but I would shoot him if you don't want to. And he said absolutely. He slid out the way, and he slid out the way, and we got him down 320 yards. So that's the furthest I've ever shot anything. But there he is. So he's a great mule deer. Got deep forks. He's even got brow tines. So I'm super happy. We're gonna try to trek him up out of here, and I think they're trying to bring the truck down, or at least a little bit closer. So we got this one done. Now time to work on getting Pops one. Hopefully we can get one in about that 150 yard range. But that was awesome.
Will be even good.
Yeah, 200 would even be good. So all right, hopefully this isn't the end and we got another one. Sorry about not getting it on film, but it was a far shot and a lot of stuff was going on.
Dad is not a good cameraman.
And Dad's not a good cameraman, yeah. So he was in and out of these cuts too. He had started up here, and he fed out and he fed in, and I was getting ready to take a shot at him at like 350, 360, and he kind of disappeared, and he kind of come up this way, and he fed back out, and when he fed back out, he was at 320. So yep, actually they're trying to bring the truck all the way down. But all right, well, that's gonna be that. All right, so that was my mule deer. So the rest of the week, that was, I believe that was Wednesday. So we still had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I believe, for Dad. And we did stalks every day, and it was just one thing after another was not working out. I feel so bad for Dad. He didn't fill his tag, which, I mean, that's hunting. We all know that. We both were going to be happy if we came home with nothing, you know. Just to be able to go out west and hunt together was, you know, more than we could ask for. But it was just one thing after another. I know a nice mule deer, we had a nice one at 80 yards, and Dad was just a little too short where he was standing on the pod where we thought the mule deer was gonna jump out. I had perfect view of him. That one didn't work out, and then we put a stalk the following day on one, and we sat there for 2 hours on him, and he just completely on one of the old county dirt roads, a tractor trailer had come down, and it had hit one of the cattle gates and made a loud noise. And when it did that, he boogered out of there like he knew something wasn't right. And so that sucked, because we were on him. We had the wind right and everything, and we were just waiting for him to decide to get up and move. So that was that day. The second day, or the last day of the hunt, we go back and we spot the same exact mule deer from the day before in the same bed. So we knew that we could get to the same bush that was 50-ish yards away from where he was at, hopefully 70, 80 yards away from where he was going to feed out into. So we go, we put the stalk on, we get there, we get set up, we get everything straight, and we sat there for 6 hours. Dad stood for 6 hours behind the gun, and we could, every now and then, we could see his rack just twist and turn, and we knew eventually he was gonna come down. But as the day got later, the wind started shifting, and I think what ended up happening, the wind went down the cut that we were in, and I guess swirled, and he caught our scent, and he jumped, and when he jumped up, he was roughly 60 yards away, and the bush we were hiding behind was keeping Dad from being able to get a shot. Dad had the bush in front of him, no mule deer. I had that on video. I have the mule deer standing there perfect broadside at roughly 60 yards away, wide open in front of me, and Dad had nothing. And he boogered on out of there, and that was pretty much our last ditch effort for Dad. So we had plenty of opportunities, we just couldn't get it done. But all in all, it was an awesome hunt. It was a great time. I hope y'all enjoy the little bit of choppy footage and everything that we had. All in all, it was a great week. We had a great time, and we're hoping that eventually we can go back and do it all again. Maybe next time I'll get some better video footage. So